Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, know-it-alls? It's been a very, very long time since we've been on here. I gotta say, first and foremost, thanks to everyone that's stuck around, that's still supporting us. Really do appreciate all you guys out there. Also, sadly, we are not joined by Jimmy the Man McPhee. Unfortunately, he's going through some things off camera, and until he comes back, looks like you'll just be stuck with me. Before all that, we got to talk about the draft. It's freaking draft season, y'all. Like, I am so excited. This is my Christmas of the year. I absolutely love the draft. Can't wait for it to kick off tonight, 8:00 p.m. in Pittsburgh. A lot of excitement, and this is great for all teams too. When you really think about it, all 32 teams, this is the perfect time of year. We know about free agency and what have you, but the draft is where you really start to put together the building blocks for the future of your franchise. This is the time of year also. Like, anybody can get better. Everybody and anybody can get better, no matter how bad your team was last year or how good your team was last year. There's always room for improvement. Today, I'm going to be going down through my top 10 for each position for the upcoming draft. Do this every single year. It's a fun time. It's a time for great conversation. So I hope you guys out there enjoy it. If you do so, would really appreciate you heading over to our YouTube channel at Football on the Know and subscribe, hit the like, all that good stuff, share it. And don't forget, comment in the comment section down below, because we are live. We are going to interact with you guys. If you guys have any questions, if you guys even have some opinions on my top 10s, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. Really do appreciate it though. But without further ado, let's get into this thing, right? Let's just start off with quarterbacks, right? Because that's like the talk of the town up to this point. Only one quarterback to really look at. And it's pretty much consensus. There's a few quarterbacks that are a little bit different than consensus, but these are just my feelings, and I don't do nearly as much, obviously, as the NFL team scouting department as some of the professional scouts out there. However, what little information I'm able to obtain, whether it be medical, game tape, or just overall a gut check, if you will, this is my list for the quarterbacks. Number 10, I have Baron Morton from Texas Tech. The problem with Barron is that his size, really. The kid has tremendous talent as a quarterback, reads the field well, delivers the ball, is accurate, has a decent arm actually, despite his size, but that's really what it comes down to, is his size. He's a shorter quarterback. He may struggle at the next level when given the opportunity, but he's at 10. Drew Aller, I'm not nearly as high on Drew Aller as anybody else. I got to be honest. I know he's got the prototypical size, he's got mobility, super strong arm, but he's a little too inconsistent in accuracy for me. And I've seen in high pressure moments him kind of fold like a lawn chair a little bit. Number 8, I have Cole Payton from North Dakota State. Um, he needs a lot of development. He's more of a developmental quarterback that I think that could be decent, given the right coaching, given the right scheme that he fits. So Cole Payton also has tremendous mobility. That's what he really was known for at North Dakota State. But has a strong arm, has accuracy. There's a lot to like with Cole Payton. He might be a little bit of a dark horse in this class. Number 7, I got Carson Beck. Carson Beck, I am another quarterback that I'm not really high on. I tried to find ways to push him up the board. I just, again, kind of not exactly, but kind of similar to Drew Aller. He's got the prototypical size. He's got okay mobility. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Um, he is a good leader, though. I'll give him credit there. Like, he's a really good leader. People usually circulate around him and follow. Um, but I don't like his overall game. I feel like when he gets antsy a lot of times in the pocket, like when you start to get close to him He gets a little happy feet. He has inaccuracy issues, and the injury to his elbow from 2 years ago, I'm still a little concerned about it. I understand that he made it through a season healthy, but again, that problem could reoccur at the next level, and that's what I'm a little concerned with. That's why I have him down a little bit lower. Cade Klubnik from Clemson at number 6. I just didn't know where to place this guy, honestly. I think he has the talent to potentially, and I hate that word, but potentially become a starter at the next level. He's got a lot to like in terms of mechanics and throwing ability. It's just, again, the inconsistencies in his game is what really concerns me. And then we get to our top 5. Taylon Green. I know I have him at top 5, but here's the thing. As we talk about all these quarterbacks and how weak this class is in terms of quarterback, Taylon Green is a intriguing prospect because he's 6'6". He's over 230 pounds. He runs like the wind. He runs a 4.340. The guy is an extreme elite athlete. He just happens to be playing the wrong position in my opinion. Um, he has a ton, and I mean a ton. He's got a cannon for an arm, but he's got a ton of accuracy flaws. And I feel like when you start to get in the pre-draft process, when you start to get teams to question your position that you're playing in, and or almost kind of push you towards, hey, would you ever consider maybe playing wide receiver? I mean, he's got size like Calvin Johnson. If this dude could catch, he could be an all-pro receiver at the next level. But he's, yet again, another quarterback that despite his athletic talent, he's very stubborn in terms of changing positions. And I feel like if he was willing and able to change into a wide receiver, I feel like that would bode well for him at the next level and would make his career even better. Taylon Green wants to be a quarterback, has said multiple times will not change his position. We've seen this before, guys, right? Think of Tim Tebow. People wanted him to move to tight end. He refused. His career was cut short. I kind of fear that the same thing for Taylon Green. I think that if he wants to stay a quarterback, he's going to be a career backup, really, is what it comes down to. But if you can convince him to maybe switch positions, then you might be able to build something there. Number 4, Joey Aguilar, Tennessee. Kids again, another dude that has great size, has a cannon for an arm. I'm not happy with the offense that he had to play in at Tennessee because it's just a lot of deep routes that are presented to him. There's nothing to really show in that offense his overall arm talent. You don't get to see him throw every spot on the football field or anything like that. So, but I do like his upside. He has a high ceiling. I'm very intrigued to see what he can do at the next level. But Joey Aguiar is at 4. Number 3, I got Garrett Nussmeier. Some people might be surprised how high up I have Garrett, but I'm sorry, I'm still going to clamber down to the tape in 24 where he literally was making arguments to be the number 1 overall pick had he come out in 24. Um, Coach's kid has been raised as a football player, great football mind, high football IQ. He's 6'2", 200 plus pounds. He's not the most mobile, but mobile enough, I would say. Garrett Nussmeier has a great arm. I mean, you look at that 24 tape, the dude was hitting every target on point, on time. Was super excited about him in 24, 25, everything got derailed. And this is a quarterback that is fighting through multiple offensive coordinators in his time at LSU, uh, 2 different head coaches. And, with Garrett, I think the next level with more, you hope, consistent coaching, but I think with better coaching, with him to fully, focus on just playing football, I think the sky's the limit for Garrett. I really do, and that's why I have him at number 3. Number two, this is kind of like this is what everybody has pretty much. Ty Simpson, number two. Um, again, a kid with great upside. I love his game in the first half of the year. Second half of the year, much different. I understand he had an injury that plagued him, and that's he was kind of fighting through that for his team and doing what he had to do. But if you just take the first half of the year, he arguably could be the number one overall quarterback in this draft. But with the up and downs of the whole year, very inconsistent in play in the second half of the year, obviously. That's what's leaving teams a little leery about Ty Simpson. Some teams have done enough homework to where they're satisfied what they saw, and despite being a 1-year starter, you know, despite being that, he's still up there in the conversation. Some people are banging the drum for him to be the number one quarterback. Some people don't see it that way. A lot of people, I will say, don't see it that way, me included. But he's still a good talent. Somebody's going to grab him. I mean, if you're going to speculate, there's a bunch of teams. I know Arizona Cardinals are really, really intrigued by him. They're hoping that they might be able to get him in the top of the second round. I don't know if they'll have to trade back into the bottom of the first round to secure that, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, with Fernando Mendoza, obviously he's number one. A lot of people have him on top of the draft class. This is a quarterback that I know he's not the most mobile guy, but he's more mobile than you think, to be honest. But a guy with tremendous size, 6'5", 230 plus. I could see him before he gets to start the NFL season, whether he starts or not. Maybe he sits for a year. I could see him put on another 10 pounds easy without even, kind of derailing his athletic ability. But I think he's a little bit more athletic too than people give him credit for as well. But super, super high football IQ. The kid is all about football, just all about football. Like there's nothing around him but football. He studies tape all the time. Hell, I guess he was watching like every play from last season of Kirk Cousins just to study it, just to see how he works as a quarterback and how he goes through his reads and everything. So the kid is all football all the time, 100%. You don't have to worry about him off the field at all. Like, I mean, it's almost to the point where it's too good to be true. Almost. But man, you and I don't want to hear anybody out there talking about, oh well, level of competition for the season and everything. Well, I'm sorry, but did you see Indiana and Fernando Mendoza play against Penn State, able to come back in that game in the fourth quarter and win the whole thing? And then you look at the college football playoff. Those aren't powder puff teams. Those are all really high end teams. Think about when they played Oregon and they played Miami, obviously in the national championship game. Like I don't understand how anybody cannot view this guy as the number one overall quarterback, and even would rival last year's or maybe even 2 years ago's crop. So, uh, not saying he's the best overall, but he's got to be in the conversation of being a high end quarterback, and that's kind of where things lie there for them. Next, we're gonna jump right into offensive line. Let's do that. Offensive lineman, and here we go. I just want to jump into this real quick, give you guys a little better view of this. So, offensive lineman at 10, I got Caleb Tiernan, a kid out of Northwestern that honestly was not even on my radar probably 3 weeks ago. But man, the dude's got tremendous size, got decent arm length. I mean, his technique is pretty sound. It's pretty darn good. Needs to refine a couple other things in terms of footwork and movability, sideways. But Caleb Tiernan is something to watch for in this draft. I wouldn't be shocked if he's a second round pick, even though not a lot of people are talking about him. But Caleb Tiernan is definitely something fun to look at. Chase Basantis at 9. He's a guy where uh, great, one of the best guards in this draft, hands down. Now you can argue pretty consistently, like is he the second best? Is he the third best? Um, He's pretty close. Like, it's what flavor you're looking for, and pretty much like his counterpart right above him at 8, Emmanuel Pregnon. 2 different styles for the players. Emmanuel Pregnon, I feel like he's very versatile at 8, but also he's a great power blocking guard, has the ability to play zone, and that's what he played at Oregon. So that's nice. He's very versatile. And I think the same thing of Chase Pasantis. I think a guy who's would be he's way more athletic than Pregnon, no doubt about it. Definitely faster, can get to the second level a lot quicker. So maybe Chase Pasantis, you might view him as a zone blocking scheme guard at the next level. But no matter which way you go, I think they both can handle both schemes. But great, great players. Number 7, I have Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah, counterpart to Spencer Fano. Played left tackle when he this year moved Fano to right tackle. Lomu's interesting because he is probably one of the more athletic when I mean, he's great size, but he's probably one of the more athletic offensive linemen in this class. And I think he can be more versatile than what he is. He could possibly play right tackle as well. And I'm very intrigued to see where Lomu ends up going. But again, a really good player. And I think these tackles and guards and even centers in this draft is pretty deep. And I'm really interested to see in the first round how many of these tackles go. Is it 7 tackles go in the first round, which a lot of people are starting to think that's what's going to happen. But I gotta say, I like his game. I think he's going to be a starter worthy type of tackle. And just like everybody in this top 10, they're all starters pretty much. It's just what team takes them, where they think they place, and so forth. Number 6, we got Blake Miller, one of my favorite tackles from Clemson. The dude is just an ox. The guy's just a man's man. Loves to push people around, and I love his pass protection is really really pretty much sound. Good against the run or good run blocker, but I really do like Blake Miller. Blake Miller is one of these guys that again, uh, kind of like Caleb Tiernan, where nobody had really talked about him up to this point, and now we're starting to hear his name as the hours are ticking away to the draft is officially has liftoff here. Number 5, Spencer Fano. Spencer Fano is super. And I mean, like in this class, he's got to be the most athletically gifted offensive lineman with size. A lot of people view him because of his a little bit smaller frame at the next level. He can get bigger. That's the thing is I feel like athletically off the charts, elite traits, the kid can play. Like, he can start at tackle. I really do believe if he gets into the weight room, puts on a little bit more weight, I think he can start at tackle because he's so quick on his feet. He's light as a feather. He can strafe back and forth really quickly. He can get to the spot, beat the speed rushers, especially. He can beat them to the spot and lock them in. Now, people are going to point to his shorter arms. Oh, well, he has short arms for the tackle. Yeah, I get all that, but I would at least give him the opportunity to play tackle to see if he can handle it or not. But Fano is one of the more versatile offensive linemen throughout this whole entire draft process. He can play tackle, he can play guard, and he can play center. So a guy that can play every spot on the offensive line is going to be a highly valued commodity. I really like Spencer Fano. I like him more as a guard, and if you needed to put him at center, I think he could be an all-pro guard or center. But again, I think, what you're gonna end up seeing is a team at least give him an opportunity to tackle, and that's why I have at 5. Number 4, I got Francis Mariota. Um, I have a little bit of concerns with this game, that's why he's a little bit lower on in my top 10. The dude is massive, first of all and foremost. The guy's a massive power blocking guy, plays right tackle for Miami. I think at the next level, he's gonna do a phenomenal job. So, I mean, I don't think you can miss with this pick. However, if you're hoping and planning on him being a right tackle, he might struggle against you know, much faster pass rushers, speed rushers, if you will, coming off the edge, and he might struggle in that capacity. The guy has really good footwork. There's a lot to like there. And then again, another player who is going to be given an opportunity to play tackle, but has shorter arms than anticipated. So at the very least, even if it doesn't work out at tackle, if you kick him in the guard, he'll easily be an all-pro guard for you. And then at number 3, I got Monroe Freeling. Now, Monroe Freeling to me, coming from Georgia, you know, I really like the talent there. He reminds me a lot of if you go a few years back where the Raiders drafted a kid out of UCLA and Colton Miller. He reminds me a lot of Colton Miller, where a lot of Raider fans, when he got drafted, were like, "What are we doing? The guy's a developmental player, blah, blah, blah." And that's how a lot of people are going to view Monroe Freeling. He has tremendous traits. I mean, the dude is gigantic. I mean, he's absolutely a gigantic human being. Super long limbs, very athletic, light on his feet. But when he gets his hands on you, you're done. Like you're not going anywhere. He just locks you up, pop, done. You're and that's what a lot of teams are starting to get excited about with Monroe Freeling. A lot of people have him as the number one overall tackle that's going to be taken. You might hear his name first when it comes to tackles. We'll wait and see tonight. But Monroe Freeling, I really like his game. I think he needs to develop a little bit more in terms of technique. But I think he's so close to being that number one tackle right away. Could be plug and play. But again, I still think he needs a little bit of refinement. Now, what would be the perfect scenario for Monroe is if he goes to a team that could use a tackle maybe next year and they draft a year early. He can sit and develop and learn behind the lineman, and that would be the best situation for him. However, I understand it's the draft. You get drafted in the first round, you're expected to start right away. We'll see what happens with Monroe, but I got a good feeling that he's going to do a great job at the next level. Number 2, I have, to a lot of people's surprise, Max Ionicher. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Is it Ihanicher? Is it Ian Aker? I don't know. But anyway, Max is amazing. He's probably my favorite, well, not my favorite I would say favorite offensive tackle. I think he's only 20 years old, which is crazy. He's only played this great game only like 3 years ever. Yeah, ever. This dude has only 3 years of experience as a football player. When he was young, wanted to play American football. He lived in Nigeria. His family and him moved to the States. And what's crazy is that he played at a super low level school that gave him an opportunity just because of his size. I mean, the kid he was big for a young man, and one of the football coaches said, "Hey, you should jump on the team and everything." And obviously he always wanted to, so took the opportunity, played, had was a little rough in the beginning because he's learning a new sport and everything for the first time. But I will say, in that transition, he went from there. The coach that brought him in ended up getting promoted to Arizona State. Arizona State, he talked to the athletic director, talked to him about this kid, Max. They got on the phone. They invited him to Arizona State. He transfers to Arizona State, and the rest is history because you can see just how good this kid already is at 20 years old, and he's still got more growth to do. He's not a finished product. He's almost like a soft ball of clay that you can mold into whatever you want him to be at the next level for alignment. He's strong already. He's got great balance, quick feet. I mean, there's not a whole lot to dislike about this guy besides the fact that he just doesn't have as much experience as some of these others that have played all their lives. So I love the ceiling on him. He has a super high ceiling. I think that he could easily develop into a great all pro type of tackle. Whatever team gets Max is going to be thrilled with what he can do for them in protection. And then that brings me to last but not least, the Penn State guard, Vega Ioane, my favorite offensive lineman overall. I think he's my number one easily. I think he's one of those type of prospects where if you are one of the lucky teams that end up getting him, you're going to be pleasantly surprised on just how versatile this guy is. This guy is probably the best guard overall, and not to mention, no, he is the best guard. Let's not play ourselves here. He is the best guard, but also unbelievable strength. The dude is literally a bull in shoulder pads. Um, he can play any type of scheme. He's played zone scheme, he's played power gap scheme. He can do it all and at a high level. Because here's the thing with Vega. When Vega locks you up, you're not moving nowhere. Your rush is over with. He's got clamps for hands. It's incredible just how good this prospect is. I think Vega, whatever team takes him in this, he's going to go in the high in the first round. I can't imagine him going in the low first round at all. But whoever does end up taking him, he's plug and play. He's going to be an all pro. He'll probably end up being the best offensive rookie, for the upcoming season. So I gotta say, that's what I got for my top 10 for my offensive lineman here. And now we're gonna end up going to tight ends. Let's do tight ends here. So tight ends, you see it right up there. Kenyon Sadiq. How can you miss it? The guy is absolutely he's freakish. He's straight up freakish. This is a guy that, I was jokingly talking about how Kenyon Sadiq could play slot receiver. Maybe even you could put him into the outside and see what he could do there as a mismatch type of a player. But the dude is tremendous. He's got great strength. He's a good blocker, not a great blocker, but I think at the next level, he will develop that further. He will get better at it. But again, lethal weapon. I mean, that's kind of like what I view him as. He's just a lethal weapon. He runs like a wide receiver, but he's 240 plus pounds as a tight end. The guy's ridiculous. He jumps out of the gym. He can make all the tough catches. He can run good routes. Like I am super high on Kenyon Sadiq. I think that he is going to be not only the top tight end taken easily, but I just not sure where he's going to go. I think he'll go in the first round, obviously, but I don't know what team is going to take him and how high they possibly could take him. So I know I kind of start off with the number one, but number two, I got Sam Roush. Sam Roush from Stanford. This dude is a do-it-all type of tight end. He can beat you in the receiving game. He can beat you in run blocking. He's a super talented and very versatile type of tight end. I like Sam Roush a lot. That's why I have him at number two, and I think the world of him. Number three, I got Eli Raridan from Notre Dame, a guy who's kind of recently has surged up the draft board, so to speak. Another do it all tight end, guy that can kill you in the receiving game, block for you, all that. Number four, I got Eli Stowers. This is a guy who's very intriguing. I don't even know if he's really a truly tight end. He again, when I talk about Kenyon Sadiq and how he could play that that Y role as a wide receiver and kill your defense because he runs like a receiver. Well, so doesn't Eli Stowers, but he's a different type of prospect. He looks more like just a big wide receiver. This is a tight end that, again, I wouldn't be surprised if a team moves him to a slot receiver role full time, because Eli Stowers is not a blocker, a guy who is not going to be able to be in line and lock up, a defensive end or a linebacker off the edge. So you're basically drafting him to be a receiving threat and nothing more. Max Clare at number five. This is a guy who has been kind of sleeping on, throughout this draft process where like no one's really talking about him that much until recently. The last couple of weeks, I feel like you started to hear his name a little bit more. I like Max Clare. I think he's going to be a super solid tight end. He might even be one of these kind of dark horses that come out of nowhere and ends up being a great starter for somebody wherever he gets drafted. But from Ohio State, a guy that really wasn't thrown to, which was weird. They didn't really utilize him in the passing game. I think Max Clare is a phenomenal. He's probably one of the best blockers in this draft. And I like his game. I got him at number 5, but again, I think this is a guy that doesn't get enough recognition, and he made the top 5 on my list though. Number 6, I got Michael Trigg from Baylor, another athletic, big type of tight end, a guy who was heavily used in the passing game, so you know that he can catch the football. He needs to refine some blocking techniques though at the next level, so might be a little bit of concern, but nowadays in the NFL, like you can make this work. Like even if you find a guy like a Eli Stowers or a Michael Trigg that are receiving threats, you can make it work. You can find a way, you can find a role for them to carve out. Number 7, I got Daquan Wright from Ole Miss, another tight end that really didn't get a lot of praise, a whole lot of, but, again, Da Daquan Wright, I like his overall game. He can receive, he can block, he can do all those things for you, and this is probably the deepest tight end class. Because I gotta be honest, typically, on my top 10 lists, I don't have a top 10 for tight ends. Usually, I just do a top 5 because it's never really that deep, and not gonna, bore you guys to death with, the last 5 that just don't matter. But this class is different. This tight end class is super deep, and there's a lot to like with some of these tight ends. So I think you can get anything that you're really looking for, whether it be just a blocking tight end or a guy that is an all around tight end, or even just a guy who just is a straight up receiving threat in this draft. And it goes pretty deep. So we got Daquan right there at number 7. Number 8, Jack Endries. This is one of my favorite tight ends. The homework that I've done on Jack, from Texas, he's a do-it-all tight end, and he's at 8 because of the depth of this class. I think that this is just gonna be he's gonna end up being tremendous value. I kind of view him more of a day 3 pick, but that's because not everybody can be a second rounder. Not everybody can be a third rounder. So I think he might end up sliding into maybe the 4th or 5th round of this draft, and that's where he's going to get whatever lucky team takes him. I think they're going to have themselves a future starter in their hands. That brings me to Marlon Klein from Michigan, yet again at number 9. Another tight end that is a do-it-all guy that can get the job done. Whatever you need to ask from, he's going to do at a high level. I think he's again another future starter for somebody. And then number 10, I got Nate Boerkircher from Texas A&M. I like his game. I really like his game. Again, he's similar to the guys like Klein and Endries, where he can do everything well. I've seen him kind of get open like by like a long shot when I was kind of surprised. I think people underestimate because of his size. I think they underestimate his athletic ability a little bit, like some of these other tight ends on this list. But then again, I just love this tight end list overall, and that's just the top 10. Like, honestly, there's other tight ends that are just up there to where you just I think you're gonna get tremendous value in this draft. It's absolutely insane. But nonetheless, let's move on to our next position group. And we're gonna go to wide receivers here. Let me get you guys a better view of the board. So with the top 10 for my wide receivers, it's going to be a little bit different than consensus, because this is just one of those things. This is how I feel each receiver stacks up to each other in this class. Number 10, I got Ted Hurst from Georgia State, a kid that had kind of early on the process was, you know, kind of being thought of maybe potentially being a second round pick. I still think that's true. I think throughout this whole draft process, but here's the thing about the receivers is even when you look at this top 10, just kind of like how I mentioned um, the the tight ends, how deep they are. Receivers are super deep too. So Ted Hurst, even though he's seen as a second round pick, there's guys on this list too that might even go up later to like a third round or fourth rounder. But Ted Hurst is a 6'4", tall ass X receiver who can stretch the field, is super fast, runs a 4.4, has great hands, Even though he played at Georgia State, and I know that's kind of like the only knock that you can really give him. The guy does run good routes. I think that he can be a X factor at the next level. Like a guy that can really kind of take over games and whatnot. Um, but that's kind of like what I'm looking at. I think the guy's going to be good. And then they go to number 9, right? We go to Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. Jeremy Bernard, he's a very good player. I really like him a lot. I think his overall game is super solid. He has tremendous ability to do a lot of things. Whether you want him to block, whether you want him to, his route running is super smooth. Like he's not the fastest guy at wide receiver, but I will say this, he's definitely like one of the smoothest receivers in this class. Runs phenomenal routes, has great hands. Like again, he's not going to break out and run for 60 yards for a touchdown. However, he does everything extremely well in all categories as a wide receiver, blocking, catching, running routes. He can make plays for you. So he's going to be a highly sought after asset, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to the second round, to be honest. But also wouldn't be surprised as well if he ends up being just a third round pick. But you're getting yourself a really good player. And that's what it is in this draft class. It's so deep with a lot of positions that you're going to get yourself a really good player. Number 8, Chris Bell from Louisville. 6'2", 220. The dude is massive. He's super solid, strong. Obviously, his build is chiseled like a Greek god. But let me tell you, this guy's coming off a ACL injury. It's usually a 10-month recovery. He's only in his 4th month of recovery right now, going into his 5th month. But the craziest thing is how fast he's rehabbing. Currently, as of yesterday, Chris Bell has been running around the 18-mile-an-hour speed, which is still wicked fast, but that just goes to show you just how fast this kid is recovering and rehabbing. He's getting healthier and healthier, a lot faster than I thought was possible. But in his 5th month of rehab, I should say, he is coming back stronger and better than ever. I honestly thought he was going to be easily a day 3 pick, but now given um, the new, new bit of information and new data on him about his health, it's that much better already. Man, he might end up going earlier than initially anticipated. I thought he was easily a day 3 pick, maybe a 4th rounder, 5th rounder, just because of the injury scare. But now you're seeing how fast he's able to recover and come back from a major injury, and man, he might end up going 2nd round, top of the 3rd. Like I, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Um, and then you look at Chris Brazel. Chris Brazel from Tennessee, another guy that I really like. Tremendous size. Like we talk about Ted Hurst at 6'4". Chris Brazel 6'5". And I think he needs to get a little bit stronger at the next level. He's 200 and I don't know, 205, 210-ish around. So even though he's got great height and everything, he's a little slender. Runs a 4.340, which is wicked fast for especially a guy his size. But I guess Chris Brazel is a much more refined wide receiver than Devonta Thornton was last year coming out of Tennessee. So Chris Brazel is a better version of Devontae Thornton from last season's crop. So I really like Chris Brazel's game. Runs good routes. He just doesn't look fast, which is kind of funny because of his size. He it looks like he's running in mud, but he's actually running by people. So it's kind of like a mirage, so to speak, with this player. Very fast dude, and I love his game. Better catcher than Devontae Thornton is. He's got solid hands. So again, another big, huge target that maybe a team might be willing to go after and make him a outside receiver for them. And then we get to number 6. Now, with Mekhi Lemon here, I have him lower than most because I'm just not all in on the hype train with Makai. I think he's super solid, as a player, but he's just a really good slot receiver. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you could even compare him to Jeremy Bernard and the fact that like he's just a really good receiver who's going to move the chains for you in the slot, who's going to make all the tough catches. I get all that, but he doesn't have blazing speed. So similar to a Jeremy Bernard, where a guy doesn't have tremendous speed, maybe Bernard has 4.5, late 4.5, early 4.6 type speed. Makai Lemon has 4.6 speed all day long. He's not going to catch the ball and rip apart your defense and go for 40 yards to score a touchdown at the next level anyways. College he did, but the next level I don't see it happening, and I think he's going to be a really good player for somebody. I look at maybe the Rams might be really intrigued on him for this upcoming draft. Curious to see where he goes, and it sounds like by all indications that he's going to be a first round pick. I just don't view him that highly as others do. But I do view highly in the top 5 here, right? Zachariah Branch from Georgia. I understand the size concerns, but I gotta be honest, the guy is electric with the ball in his hands. Again, another guy that is super fast speed, blazing speed, great body control and balance. But here's the problem with Zach Branch is the fact that like he played at Georgia, where Georgia's offense was pitiful for wide receivers. You're not gonna get noticed if you go to Georgia as a wide receiver because they don't utilize you enough in all the route concepts, and that's the big problem with Georgia. So Zachariah Branch was kinda limited in a sense to doing receiver screens all day and little drag routes and post and cross-ins and things of that nature, where I think it limited what he's capable of doing, and I think at the next level, he's going to be that much better for whatever team drafts him. And then we got at number 3, Denzel Boston. That's right. I have well, I just skipped the guy, never mind. I got number 4, Omar Cooper Jr. Omar Cooper Jr. is gonna be one of the, um, how do I word this? One of the best treasures to open up here, at the next level. Omar Cooper Jr. runs phenomenal routes, quick, athletic through the roof. You seen the best catch in college football last year, right? In the back of the end zone at the Penn State game to win it. Um, Guy has tremendous hands. He's got great body control. I think he's going to be a dynamic outside receiver for whoever drafts him. He's at my number 4 spot. And then number 3, Denzel Boston, the big 6'4", 230 plus, phenomenal route runner of a receiver. I think the world of Denzel Boston. I think he could easily be an X receiver for whatever team drafts him if that's how they want to utilize him. But then again, he's also a guy that can play anywhere on the football field for you. So wherever you need him, he's going to play at a high level. Super great contested catcher. He's got speed too to go with his size. Like he runs like around a 4.4 to 4.5 ish type of speed. But man, let me tell you, I think that he's going to do great things at the NFL level. That's why I got him at number 3. Number 2, I got Jordan Tyson. I didn't put Tyson at 1 because of glaring injury concerns throughout college football. And the last 3 years have been a very tough battle for Jordan Tyson. Now, if there was no injury concerns with him, he's easily the number 1 overall receiver. However, I got him at 2 just because those injury concerns exist. It seems like he gets injured often, and recently he's had hamstring issues. So that's never a good sign. You got injuries piling up, and then on top of that, you couldn't play last year because your hamstrings always tightened up, or at least that's what was told. So that's why I got Tyson at number 2. But again, another guy who is extremely gifted with size. He's got speed to burn, runs like a 4.45. Um, Great body control, can jump out of the gym, can make all the tough catches. He's going to be a really good receiver as long as he can stay healthy, of course. And then at number 1, I got Carnell Tate. I've had Carnell Tate as my number 1 wide receiver pretty much through this whole pre-draft process. He's just a phenomenal all-around receiver. And some people might question his speed and, oh, well, he didn't run the 40 and this and other thing. I'm sorry. You watch the tape, watch, highlights of him, and you can see him pulling away from defensive backs. I I just can't see how this guy's gonna be, anything different in terms of, like, being a great player for whatever team does draft him. So, that's where I view him. I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's gonna be the number 1 receiver taken off the board and a guy that can do everything well. He runs good routes. He's got great phenomenal hands. He might even be the best pass catcher in this draft. He might be. I've seen him make insane catches, and you talk about a guy that's willing to be a run blocker, a guy that's willing to do whatever it takes to get his team to succeed. That's why I got him at number 1. Let's go to running backs real quick. Running backs. All right. Running backs at number 10, I got Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. A lot to like about him. The dude is just a speed demon. That's really what he is. He's a speed demon. He can take over games if he sees that little crack in the line and just can burst through. He might be off to the races. The guy is just an absolute monster when it comes to running with the football. However, the only one real knock on him that I will say is he's a good receiver out of the backfield, but and I think that's where his game is going to be at the next level. Is he's going to be a receiving threat. He'll be a little bit of that speed threat for you, between the tackles, outside the tackles. However, I'm just not 100% sure if the vision is all there. And you could even see that at Penn State, how they started off with Singleton as a starter and quickly changed their mind and went to Katron Allen at Penn State, a guy who is more of like a power back with speed, if you will. So, and then for the rest of the year, it was just Katron Allen as the starter. So that's why I have Singleton at number 10. I think he's a good player. I think if a team can find a role for him, he's going to do a really good job for them. And then number 9, I got Noah Whittington from Oregon, a guy who throughout this process, I feel like he's been hardly ever talked about. But I'm surprised because Noah Whittington is a bull of a running back. The guy literally can fight through tackles. He can make you miss. He's got quick. He's not the fastest guy, and maybe that's why he's a little bit knocked down, but he's got enough speed to get through the hole, to get you some yardage. Yeah, he might get chased down from behind, but again, I'll take that any day. I'll take real good production over over the home run play that only happens once, once in a while for a running back. So give me a guy that can move the chains, give me a guy that can, run with guys on his back, type of player. And he's got some quick athletic ability too. And then at number 8, I got Damon Claiborne from Wake Forest. The thing with Demond is he's going to be the true receiving back threat, where he's going to come in out of the backfield because he's super fast, runs a 4.340. The guy's super quick, agility wise. He's got soft hands to make all the catches. That's where his home is going to be at the next level. I got him at 8 because just of how freakishly, athletic he is. He's going to be tough to deal with when he's out in the open field. It's gonna make it really tough on defenders to kinda tackle him out there. But again, I think he's going to be a really good weapon for them. Number 7, I have Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. Now, initially, I'll say this early on, I had Emmett Johnson at, like, 5, I think. And then I only knocked him down a couple pegs because he's not a guy that doesn't he just doesn't have the top end speed, and it's gonna limit the home run play. Just kinda like Noah Whittington. I think Whittington has a little bit more speed than Johnson. I could be wrong there. But Emmett Johnson is a guy who is a guy that's gonna do all the dirty work for you. Like, he's gonna make the tough yards. He's gonna get that extra yard, 2 yards, if you will, when any other average running back will get stopped. He's going to fight for you. He's going to do everything he can to stay on his feet. Got great contact balance, and the guy's just a football player. Like, bottom line, that's just what he is. He's a football player that's going to do the dirty work for you. Come in, second down, third down, whatever you need him to do, he's gonna do, and he's a good receiver out of the backfield. So, overall, he's got a great toolbox full of tools that you can utilize it in any kind of, running scheme. So, I like Emmett Johnson a lot, but he is limited by, the top end speed type deal, but I just think his game is too good to ignore. Number 6, I got Kaytron Allen from Penn State. Again, the counterpart to Nick Singleton. Kaytron Allen took over the starting job and is one of the bigger running backs in this draft class that has tremendous speed. The dude is just an absolute bull in the china closet. And he can has that top end speed. So if you give him anything, any kind of space, and he shoots through, good luck trying to tackle him because he's off to the races then. So I love his size. I look at Kaytron Allen, I think, man, what a great number 2 running back for any team that already has a featured back in place. You don't get a rest then. Like, that's the thing. You're just not gonna get a rest when you have to deal with, let's just say, like, for example, I don't know, like, we got Saquon Barkley with the Eagles. And what if the Eagles take a Keytron Allen, and now you gotta deal with not just Saquon Barkley, but also Keytron Allen, who isn't gonna really he's not gonna go easy on you. He's gonna run through your face. He's and honestly, if you miss a tackle or he breaks one and takes off, good luck trying to catch him. But I got Kaytron Allen at 6. Number 5, I have Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman from Washington, I am super, super I'm a big fan of his. Just super excited about what he can possibly do at the next level. And this dude is short. Don't get me wrong, really short. Talk about 5'8", 5'9" type of height, like a little mini guy. He looks like a bowling ball. Like, he's just big. He's 220 plus. He's just absolute monster looking type of running back, bowling ball dude of butcher knives. Like, I don't know how to explain him, but if that kind of gets the point across, I guess that's good enough. The dude again, but he's a little bit different than like a Kaytron Allen or a Noah Whittington. This is a guy who he doesn't have top end speed, but man, oh man, is he quick. He is super quick through the hole. He can make people miss laterally and or he can run through you. Like, it's whatever you want. He'll dish it out. So he can either run through you, he can make you miss, and even in close quarters. So that's what's interesting about him. He reminds me a lot of like um just like a kind of like a smaller version of Natron Means. The guy is just kind of like a bowling ball type of figure, but man, he's definitely a little bit more nimble than Natron was. But Jonah Coleman is something that I'm pretty excited to see what he can do at the next level. Curious to see where he ends up going. But that's why I got him at number 5. Number 4, I got Jam Miller from Alabama, and the comparison's pretty easy for me. Jam Miller reminds me a lot of Josh Jacobs, and I understand they both went to the same college, but it's hard to ignore. And Jam Miller is another one of these running backs that I don't think has gotten a whole lot of recognition leading up to this draft. I don't understand why, because the dude has the talent to be a full-time starter at the next level. So I don't know where he's going to end up, but I'm very curious to see where he ends up, what team he goes to, and how much he's going to be able to contribute. Next one is Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas. A lot of people look at this pick and they're saying, "Oh, well, that's just because his combine stats, super fast. He's got everything. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got lateral agility, he's got quickness, he's got soft hands, he can block. He needs to get better at blocking. He's not the best at blocking, but a guy who has a lot of talent that you can work with, that you can groom at the next level. He can be a full-time starter, I believe, at the next level. Because when you look at some of the tape from last year, uh, with Mike, what was interesting is the fact that anytime they played higher competition in their conference, now Arkansas doesn't play the toughest conference, but anytime they had a tough matchup, he excelled. Like, he was able to beat better defenses, even though the odds were stacked against him. So I think that's encouraging for anybody looking at a guy like Mike Washington is the fact that I think he's a do it all type of a running back. I think in the next level, I think again he could be a full time guy for you, or he could be a great number two for you. So very curious with this draft and how the depth works with each position, just where all these guys end up going. Number two, I got Jadarian Price. This is just consensus. Like you got two Notre Dame running backs, 1 and 2. Jadarian Price number two, Jeremiah Love at number one. Jeremiah Love is seen as one of these ridiculous specimens at the running back position that can do not only everything extremely well, but also do it at an elite level. Some people are even saying that Jeremiah Love might be better than Ashton Genty from last year. So, if that's any indication, I mean, I think he's worthy of a top 5 to top 10 pick. We'll see where Jeremiah Love goes, but Jadarian Price, this is where it gets interesting for running backs is you typically don't see running backs go a lot in the first round, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jadarius Price ends up going in the bottom of the first round if he makes it in there. Um, it wouldn't surprise me because of what he was able to show on the football field, a guy that can do everything extremely well. Kinda like Love, obviously not at the same level, but Jadarian Price, I think he's a little bit of a sleeping giant in this role. Even though I got him as a number 2, it sounds like teams aren't going to be taking another running back. It seems like Love in the first round, and then everybody else is gonna be second round and below. So, we'll see how that all shakes out, but it's gonna be one hell of a draft, as you know. Very exciting. Can't wait to see how that all shakes out. Let's get to the defense now. The defense, and typically when I do these top 10 lists, I usually break them up and go like week to week, and I'll do like a couple positions. But with everything that's been transpired, I think it's going to be one of those things where I just had to stack them all up and do in one day. So here we are. For defense, now this top 10 list, I combined D line and edge. So there's some D tackles in there, there's some edge players in here, but nonetheless, at number 10, I got Lee Hunter from Texas Tech, a guy who didn't have the best combine, but I think he's going to be better than his combine results. I think this is a guy that has tremendous power. He can play zero technique for you, three technique for you, like one gap, like whatever you want him to do. Um, he's going to be a really good player, high effort type of player. The only concerns that I have, and that's why he's at 10 for me, is I'd have him higher, but I'm a little concerned with his lower body, at least right now. I mean, obviously, anything can be worked on at the next level. You're going to see all of these players get better than what they are right this second. So Lee Hunter's one of those type of guys that he needs to get thicker and stronger in his base. His legs look like almost pencils compared to his top half. So he looks a little top heavy for me, and I wonder if that's going to uh, play into a factor at the next level. But Lee Hunter, really solid candidate, and this D line group is super deep. Number 9, I have Malachi Lawrence. Malachi Lawrence could end up going really much higher than where I have him at 9. Malachi Lawrence, pass rusher out of Central Florida, good size, long arms, freaky type of athlete. When the guy runs a 4.5 40 at his size, it's pretty noticeable. Like, okay, maybe we need to do a little bit more homework to see how good this guy could be. He's got great pass rush moves off the edge. The big concern for him, and that's why he's at 9 for me, is run defense. I don't think he really looks to play the run at all. I think he's always looking to go after the quarterback and disrupt the backfield. So I wonder if it's going to be at the next level. He's going to definitely need to be coached up at playing the run. Number 8, I got Gabe Yakas. Gabe Yakas from Illinois, a guy who's been coming on, really, kind of going flying up the draft boards relatively quickly as we get closer and closer to the draft. A kid that has phenomenal pass rush moves, but he is purely a 3-4 edge type of player. So he's kind of put into a little bit of a box for the next level. So a team that does run that 3-4 or can find a role for him to rush off the edge, I think that that's going to be the team for him. But Gabe Yakas, I have at 8. Number 7, I have Christian Miller from Georgia. Yes, I have him at 7 because I have combine the D tackles and edge, it makes it definitely a little bit more difficult to rank them. But Christian Miller, I understand the hype. I get it. There's just something about him where I just don't know how good he's going to be. He's going to be a good player for whoever takes him, but he is very versatile. I like his explosion off the snap. He's quick off the snap. He's got the strength to hold up against double teams. If you need him to play 3, 4 nose tackle, he can do that for you. He can also play 3 technique, 4, 5, whatever you need him to play. I feel like this guy can make it happen. And I got him at number 7 just because there's just something about him where it's really no science to it. It's just when I watch him, I'm like, not super hyped about him. I think he's gonna be good. I just don't think he's gonna be great, like a lot of people are talking about. Number 6, I have Derek Moore at Michigan. Derek Moore is a power edge type of player. Guy has good size. His hands hit like hammers. I mean, the dude, when he punches the offensive lineman, they notice like, oh crap, this dude's got something behind him. But strong, can hold the edge, plays the run really well, can give you pass rushing ability. I just think he's going to be more of an underrated prospect. I'm surprised that he hasn't risen up higher on boards, or at least from an outsider's perspective, because we all know these teams have studied all of these guys way deeper than any of us podcasters have or can. We don't have all the details that they have with medicals and character and all that. So, but I really do like Derek Moore. I like him so much so that he's number 6 in my top 10. Number 5, I have Caden McDonald, the D tackle from Ohio State. This is a guy who I don't think there's any question. I think Caden McDonald is the number 1 D tackle. I think again, Caden McDonald has the size and he's the best run defending D tackle in this draft class, hands down. Guy can if you're looking for run support, this is the guy. This is the guy that your team needs to take. I look at the Buffalo Bills as one of those teams that have, had issues in the interior of their D line. Maybe this could be their answer for them. But this is also a guy who's yet again another versatile type player. He can play nose for you. He can play your regular 3 technique for you. He can do whatever you want him to do. Super versatile, strong, powerful. You're not going to move him. You're just not. I don't care if you double team this guy, he's not going anywhere. So that's the A part of his game where I'm very curious to see where McDonald goes. There's been mock drafts that have him anywhere from just after the middle point of the first round to low first round to early second round. So this draft has nobody has a clue on how this draft is going to go, is basically what I'm saying. And then at number 4, we have Caleb Banks. Caleb Banks, I understand the injury concerns early on, but now there's new data out there. There's new information where a lot of teams are starting to not worry about it and saying that his injury, he's going to be healthy by training camp. So for whoever drafts him, looks like he'll be 100% healthy when training camp starts. And if that's the case, then you might be able to see Caleb Banks, who initially was going to be seen as like maybe a second round pick. He might be going right back into the first round now. If teams are not worried about his medical and they, in fact, he's going to be 100% healthy, I think that he could end up sneaking back into the first round where he was originally placed early on in the draft process. So Caleb Banks to me he's going to be, I think at the end of it all, and here's the disclaimer: he's going to have to stay healthy. If he can't stay healthy, then this is going to be one of those things where he's going to be a rotational player for the rest of his life, and he's never going to be a full time starter. But I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of Caleb Banks's game. I realize he only played like 3 games last year in college because of injury again. But if this dude somehow, some way can get right at the next level, get with a good training staff and work on strengthening everything around his injured areas and really work with them with diet and all that, this dude could be a menace. I think you're looking at Caleb. I look at Caleb Banks and I see visions of Chris Jones. It's hard not to notice him like that because when you watch some of his college tape, just how disruptive he is. He just can blow through you know, uh, he can blow through double teams. He can You can't single block the guy. He's gonna win every time. He has tremendous length. He's just freaking a mountain of a dude. I mean, 6'7", 340, 350. The dude's massive. He has super long arms. I believe they're like 34, 35-inch like tree limbs, basically. This guy has tremendous power. He's quick off the snap. I mean, there's a lot to love about Caleb Banks. Only thing that you won't love is injuries. So hopefully that gets better at the next level. And if it all checks out, Caleb Banks either is going to be a steal or one of the bigger misses in this draft. Number 3, I got Akeem Mazador. I think Mazador, honestly, I have him ranked 3, but Mazador could be the better D end when it's all said and done 3, 4 years from now. I understand his age, and that's really why I have him at 3, is he's 25 years old now. So you think about if he's drafted in the first round, which a lot of people expect that to happen, um, 25 now you get drafted. Your rookie contract, when it's all said and done, and that's with the 5th-year option if it gets exercised, he's going to be 30. I mean, he's gonna have a very short lifespan in this NFL. So, uh, that's the only reason why I have him at 3 is basically because the lifespan at the NFL is not gonna be as long as some of these other guys that are younger, way younger. And then number 2, I have David Bailey. David Bailey, he's man, is he quick. Man, has he got speed. And he can burn you right around the edge, and you can't blink with this guy. This guy will be in the backfield if you do. He loves to wreak havoc. I think this is going to be a pass rushing specialist type of player. David Bailey, very good player, good length in arms. That's what you got to look for. And you got to look at bend too. Like he's not a natural bender, I would categorize him as, but he can bend. So it's going to help him at the next level, but he's definitely got to get better at that. And then number 1, that's right. I got short arms McGee here, Ruben Bain Jr. Ruben Bain Jr., I can't ignore it. I mean, the production, you watch him on his tape, and it's like no matter what tackle he goes against, he's playing against some of the best tackles in college football, and they have way longer arms than him. But guess what? He still finds a way to win. He still finds a way to win the rep. He still gets sacks. He stops the run. He does everything extremely well. The dude is, I mean, you take his name, Bane. He's basically Bane from Batman. He's going to be a nemesis at the next level. I think the world of this dude. I love his power, his pass rush moves, and he wins not with length, obviously, but he wins with the power that he has and utilize that in tandem with his pass rush moves to get your hands off his chest, to move your arms away from making an impact against his rush. So I think Ruben Bain Jr. is going to be elite at the next level. Yes, he's an outlier. And in the last 20 years, Ruben Bain, his arm length doesn't do well. They're not elite at the next level in the NFL. But if I have to bet that an outlier is going to be, it's going to be Ruben Bain. That brings us to linebackers. We're getting closer to the end, y'all. Okay, so linebackers here, my top 10. Um, I'm going to start off with Josiah Trotter. Josiah Trotter, I had a little bit of a hard time placing him in this top 10 list because I view him as like an old school middle linebacker. Like he's like that thumper type of linebacker. He's big, he's stocky, he has decent speed, not great speed. But again, he's going to be a very solid middle linebacker at the next level. That's why I have him at number 10. He's not the best at coverage, which kind of concerns me. So that's why I got him at number 10. Number 9, I got Aiden Fisher from Indiana. Aiden Fisher, I really, really like his game. I kind of wanted to put him up higher, but I just couldn't put him past the guys above him. Aiden Fisher, again, this is a linebacker class that is extremely deep. You can find yourself a really good to great type of linebacker for you, a guy that can start for you and hold it down. But Aiden Fisher is just another one of those candidates that I think is going to really do well at the next level. Number 8, I got Bryce Betcher from Oregon. This is a guy who is good at coverage, is sideline to sideline type of linebacker, and yes, he's at 8. So that should show you something about the depth of the linebackers as well, is that this dude can play the run extremely well. He read and reacts really consistently. I love his game. So you can get yourself whether it be a great depth piece, but also a guy in the future that could start for you. And then you can go uh hold on. And then you can go with number 7 at Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. Kyle Lewis is interesting to me. He is a tweener. And I know that's not a good term to use when you're talking about positions, but Kyle Lewis could be either one or the other. He has the ability because of his size. He's not the biggest dude. He's really short in his position, not the biggest guy, but when you talk about speed, you talk about sideline to sideline tackling, open field tackling, read and react, coverage skills. This guy has it all. It's just his stature isn't up to the expectations that it should be for the NFL. But man, talk about a ball hawking linebacker. This guy's everywhere on the football field. You know, he's got double digit interceptions. He can do everything. Like the guy is phenomenal. However, I don't know how NFL teams are going to view him as. Like you could take Kyle Lewis and transfer him to a safety position, and he could easily excel as a safety because I think he has all the attributes that you'll look for in a safety, and definitely can hit you with a punch. This guy can hit, can knock you out. I love his game overall. eh, I got him at 7 just because of the size concerns, and I'm not really sure how the NFL teams are going to view him as. But man, I think whether it be outside linebacker or safety, you're getting yourself a stud. I think this dude is going to make it in the NFL despite these size questions, despite those type of concerns. So I got him at 7. Number 6, I got Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas. This is a very big linebacker, very different than Kyle Lewis for sure. But again, Anthony Hill Jr. has speed, talk about 4.5 type of speed, talk about 6'5" frame, very tall, long limbs, good in coverage, and is really good actually. In even though he's young to the position, he's really good at running down the running back in the backfield and whatnot. So like his overall game. He's young too, really young, that I think you can make him to plug and play as a starter, have him learn on the run, so to speak, at the next level and continue to develop him. I think he could be a really nice player for someone. And then number 5, we got Jake Golday from Cincinnati. This is a guy who is he's very unique. And as much as we talk about Kyle Lewis and how his coverage skills are really good, this is Jake Golday who has the length, has the height, the prototypical size that you look for in a linebacker in an outside linebacker role. What's interesting is that at Cincinnati, though, he was also utilized in the slot, which was interesting. So you could, you know, if you could picture that an outside linebacker also playing slot corner type of role and being able to hold his own. It's incredible. So the guy has tremendous athletic ability. He's got enough speed to stay with receivers, tight ends, you name it. So I really like Jake Golday's game. I'm curious to see where he ends up going. Number 4, I got CJ Allen from Georgia. This is a prototypical middle linebacker for the next level. Anybody that needs a starting caliber middle linebacker, This is one of the better guys that are coming out in this draft. He's not the fastest guy, but he's got really good size, good coverage skills. He's just a solid middle linebacker and he's not slow by any means. But he's also not the fastest guy, as you'll see higher on the list. Uh, but CJ Allen is at number 4. Number 3, Jacob Rodriguez. This is a guy that early on in the process, I'd never really had him this high in my rankings. I thought maybe he might be 5th or maybe 6th, but man, there's no denying that Rodriguez is going to be a first round pick. There's no doubt about it. Like you can't watch his game and watch him play and say, I don't know. The dude is way faster than I thought he was. When he tested at the combine, I couldn't believe the 40 time he ran. It was like a 4.445 type of time. But man, Jacob Rodriguez is insane. His coverage skills are through the roof. His able to sniff out the run, incredible. The dude is just a complete linebacker, middle linebacker at the next level, and probably the one of the better linebackers that are coming out. I think whatever team ends up getting him, they're getting themselves a full time starter and a guy, honestly, that's going to end up being an all pro type of dude. Number 2, I got Sonny Styles. Obviously, these next 2, everybody knows them. I don't have to go into too much depth here, but Sonny Styles from Ohio State, he's gonna be a top 5 pick. I can't see him going any lower than 5. I'd be shocked if he does, but I just can't see it. Top 5 pick, Sonny Styles, phenomenal size, strength, speed, awareness, quicks, you name it. The dude he's everywhere. Give me Sonny Styles at 2. And then number 1, yes, I have Arvell Reese from Ohio State as a linebacker. I know everybody keeps trying to push this kid to be an edge, but I gotta be honest with you. He has the capability now, obviously, physically, to be that edge. It's just he's never been asked to be an edge. He's rushed off the edge before at Ohio State, but it wasn't so consistent to the point where like everyone's like, "Oh, well, he could be an edge." No, everyone just kind of looking and kind of speculating and projecting that he can play edge and that's a more valuable position, so why not put him there and develop him with that and see what he can do? I think he's going to be an all-pro linebacker. Whether you put him on the outside linebacker role, you put him at middle linebacker, I think this dude is going to excel. He can be your Fred Werner type of middle linebacker if you want him to be. He can be the sideline to sideline guy from an outside linebacker perspective. And also, as an outside linebacker, you can rush him off the edge from time to time. So why limit him and just say, hey, no, we're going to make you just a pass rusher when you can have him play the middle of the field in coverage. Now he has to get better at that, but he has the ability and the speed. Obviously, the size is there that he can do a lot of things. So don't put him in a box. That's all I'm saying. Don't put this guy in a box and say, "Hey, we're just going to put you as an edge rusher, and that's it, and that's where you're going to live." Let this dude roam around the field. Let this dude kind of utilize different blitz packages if you want him to rush up the middle, on the outside. Play him at linebacker. He's going to be, I think, much more of a threat that way than just an edge. But again, has the ability. So if a team does decide that they want him to be more of like an edge hybrid or something like of that nature, that um, I could see them kind of developing him into that. Because let's face it, I seen a Arvell Reese interview in the last couple of days where Arvell Reese himself was talking about how he doesn't even know how to pass rush. He doesn't even know what the pass rush moves are called. He just was out there, "Hey, the coaches told me to rush off the edge, so I did. I don't even know what I did, but that's how I got by the tackle." So, for not know what you're doing and still do it, you can see the potentials there for sure. I get it, but I think that he's gonna be, um, much more valuable, I feel like, as a linebacker. But that's that, it is what it is. Everyone's got their own thing. So, we'll move on to the cornerbacks. Cornerbacks. Okay. So to cornerbacks, I got number 10, I got Tacario Davis from Washington. Very tall, lean, long type of corner, 6'4", 200 plus pounds. I like his game. I like it's hard to deny the size. You can't teach size, obviously. And if you ever get a corner like Takario that is 6'4" and can run like the wind, is fast, we can figure some things out to make you impressive. And I think he's a pretty good player. I don't think he's a finished product by any means. I think he needs to develop a little bit more. Um, but again, I got him at 10 because I love the upside. I love the potential. I think that he could do some really nice things at the next level. Number 9, I got Willie Lee from Texas A&M. Again, another kind of tall corner, lean corner that has the length, that can play the run well, that can, he can play man, he can play zone. I just love his overall game. Number 8, I got Dalen Everett. This is a guy from Georgia that I'm surprised it's not being talked about more. I think that he's kind of being overshadowed by these other corners that have kind of created storylines to the point where, they're just not really talking about the guy. Guy's super solid, and I'll tell you right now, a team that gets him, and this goes to show you, like I said it before, like position to position, there's a lot of positions that are really deep to where you can get yourself a good player to a starter. So I like Dalen Everett's game, solid all the way around. Number 7, I got Avion Terrell from Clemson. I like so football IQ wise, I really do like the player. He's got the athletic ability. He doesn't have top end speed for the next level, which concerns me. And I think that might limit his role to maybe playing more zone than anything. Because if you put this guy with man coverage, I worry about him struggling at the next level with some of these fast receivers that he's going to have to go up against. So I got him at 7. I honestly could have put him at 8 and put Everett at 7, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because we've seen outliers before as corners that run a 4.65 and still are able to lock it down. So I'm betting on the family name Terrell. His brother AJ Terrell with the Atlanta Falcons, really good outside corner. So I'm betting on the name in the uh, family legacy, if you will, to bring a better player out of him at the next level. Number 6, I have Chris Johnson from San Diego State. I'm not a huge fan of Chris Johnson. But he's hard to ignore. He's a really good player uh, as a zone corner, and that's kind of where he's going to end up living. Is whoever plays mostly zone type of defensive concept. I think Chris Jones will be their type of guy, their type of a pick that is going to excel in that scenario. So Chris Johnson, very sticky receiver. He reads the quarterback well. He jumps on footballs, whether it be a batted ball or an interception. He's always around. That's why I got him at number 6. Number 5, I got Keith Abney, one of my favorite corners, honestly. And if it wasn't for this guy's size, he is short, but man, oh man, you can put him anywhere. Slot, outside, you name it. I think Keith Abney is a guy that's going to stick on you like white on rice. He can play man, he can play zone, he can do everything well. But again, I think it's just his stature is the reason why he's not, higher up on the list. But Keith Abney, watch out for that name. Maybe a second round pick. Colton Hood. I feel like now at this point, everybody knows who Colton Hood is from Tennessee. But I got him at number 4. I don't have him at 3 like a lot of other people do. But Colton Hood is a very solid player, has played slot, has played outside. He's very versatile that way. But also another really solid prospect, good size. So you don't have to worry about any size concerns. Great physical tackler. I will say that. He's good in coverage whether it be man or zone, but man, he can come downhill and deliver a punch. Plays the run extremely well, read and reacts well. I really like Colton Hood's game. Would not be mad if he ends up being picked in the high second round at all. Number 3, D'Angelo Pons from Indiana. Just like we talked about Keith Abney before, D'Angelo Pons, I feel like the only reason this guy is 3 for me is because of his size. He's, he's on the shorter end, like Keith Abney. They're 5'8", 5'9" ish type of size. And a lot of people were worried about, oh, at the next level, he's going to have to face these taller receivers. He might be taken advantage of on the outside. Maybe he's only a slot corner. I disagree. I've seen enough game tape on D'Angelo Ponds to know that he's he's faced a Denzel Boston in this class. He's faced big receivers before and has locked them up. Like, yeah, every once in a while, yeah, okay, they throw a high ball and that receiver catches it. It's going to happen anyway, to anybody. But D'Angelo Ponds, he's been able to lock down some big, high end type of wide receivers that are coming into this draft with him that are going to get drafted. And I got no worries about D'Angelo Ponds. I don't give a crap about about the height. Really don't. He's extremely quick. He's got high end speed. He does everything like Keith Abney. Plays man. He can play man. He can play zone. He can come down and deliver a punch. Like, he's not afraid to hit nobody. He's a very physical corner too. Like, he's not gonna let you push him around. And he only makes plays time and time again. So Ponds is another one of my favorites. Again, like, I think this dude is going to be an excellent corner at the next level, and you can put him anywhere on the defensive front or any and then number two, I have Jermod McCoy. The only reason I have Jermod McCoy from Tennessee at 2 is because of the injury concerns. That's it. That's it. He's got the height, he's got the length, he's got speed to burn. He can play man, he can play zone. Again, you're going to see a reoccurring theme with a lot of these high-end type of corners where they all do the same things really well. There's going to be parts of their game that they have to work on, just like any athlete does. So when you get to that pro level, all these guys, I don't care if you're Mansour Delane, that's number one on my list. They're all going to have to work on their craft. They're all going to have to get that much little bit better than they used to be. So McCoy I have there just because of injury concerns, and obviously the genesis or the general consensus, Mansour Delane is the guy that's number one for me. Obviously, health reasons you don't have to worry about, but he's got the length, the height, all that good stuff. Does everything extremely well. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. He's literally the number one corner right now. I'm curious to see what happens in draft day because there's a lot of speculation about McCoy where he's coming back from a major injury and may need another surgery. With it, if that is the case, McCoy goes to surgery, he's going to miss this entire season. So watch out for Jermon McCoy. I wouldn't be surprised if he slides out of the first round just because of that news. And if it is 100% true, I don't see a team taking him in the first round. I can't be just because that now there's a greater unexpected, like, what does that mean for his near future? Like, okay, he's gonna have another surgery. All right, now we're waiting a whole other year. So then 27, we're gonna get him hopefully healthy. And what if he gets injured again? It's always that uncertainty there for injured players. So very keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on to see if McCoy goes in the first round. If he goes late, could happen. Maybe he goes late and the team still takes a flyer on him, but that's also another possibility. Now let's get to the safeties. Let's get through this. Let's get to the safeties. This is the last position that we got to talk about, and you see it right there. Dylan Thieneman from Oregon is my number one safety. I know a lot of people are going to discredit that and don't think that's true, but I'm sorry, I can't ignore a safety that turns the ball over as well. Dylan Thieneman is going to be a first round pick. I don't care what the naysayers say. This dude is off the charts. Athletically, can jump out of the gym. I mean, super fast, can go sideline to sideline, just like a Caleb Downs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discredit Caleb Downs. I'm just saying that Thieneman, at least when it comes to safety, I view a safety that can turn the ball over a lot more than a guy who's just a really good football player that can make all the tackles, that can do everything that's asked of him. But Caleb Downs honestly has a little bit. I wanted to see this year from his game. I wanted to see him turn the ball over more. That's what I really wanted to see. And maybe that's not what he was asked to do either with the Ohio State defense. So there's always that too. There's other variables to any player where a team might ask him only to play a certain way in their offense or defense. So maybe that's true with Caleb Downs, and that's why he didn't have as many turnovers. So, but Thieneman did. Thieneman had a bunch of turnovers. He's a great tackler. I love his coverage ability. I love the way he plays. He's all over the football field. That's why I got him at number one. Number two, I got Caleb Downs. Obviously, you could basically say 1A, 1B because Caleb Downs' game is flawless, really. Like he's so good at diagnosing the offense, at knowing what the responsibilities are, getting people in place on the back end. He is kind of like that general in the secondary that he's going to always make sure everybody communication wise is all up to par. You know, he in his game is very hard to poke holes in. So I got him just at number two. Number 3, I got Emmanuel McNeil Warren. This is a kid that could end up being, when it's all said and done, could be the best safety taken in this draft. He's got some parts to his game he has to work on. And I feel like at Toledo, he got bored, is what it looked like. Because there was sometimes when he would get beat because he was taking, not taking it serious enough, it looked like, going up against his opponent to where he didn't think he was gonna beat him because he is fast and he's got those long limbs and the tall stature that he has, that he didn't think he was gonna get beat. So I feel like sometimes it looked like he got bored, if that makes sense, in the games that he played where it was like the lack of competition. And that's the other thing too, is people are going to always poke holes in people's games because he played at Toledo. And, you know, the competition wasn't always great. We get it. It wasn't great hardly at all. But I think at the next level, he's going to, step his game up a lot more because he has to, because it is the best of the best in the NFL that he's going to have to bring his A game all the time, every snap. And you're going to have better coaching too. So, but I think when it's all said and done, if Emmanuel McNeil Warren hones his game in, works on his craft, has that good work ethic, you can see remnants of Ed Reed in his game. Like that kind of ball skills, that kind of range that he can turn the ball over, he can make big time plays. I really like this kid, and I think that, sky's the limit for him. Number 4, AJ Halsey. This is another safety that I absolutely love, from LSU. The dude is compact. He's, like 6'1", he's 220. Dude has a lot behind him. He delivers punishing blows. He can cover. He's sideline to sideline. Obviously, he's great in run support, really good in coverage too. And he's another guy kind of similar to Caleb Downs in the sense of mental. Like he read and reacts. He sees the plays develop before they're actually even started. But I really like AJ Halsey. I think if you get any one of these top 4 safeties, I think you're getting yourself a plug and play type of starter right away. Number 5, I got Traden Stukes from Arizona, the better of the 2 safeties that are coming out from Arizona. Traden Stukes, a guy that does everything extremely well. We talk about coverage skills, we talk about tackling, we talk about all that. This is another athletic dude that I feel like is yet again, it's gonna be a little bit of a sleeper, where whoever does end up taking Traden Stukes, I think they're getting themselves a really good player. Number 6, Bud Clark from TCU. I really like his game, but there's some holes in it. He's not as consistent when it comes to coverage. Sometimes he gets burnt a little bit. So he's going to have to develop, better awareness. He's going to have to develop, better mechanics at the next level for his safety position. And a guy who is willingly to come down and play the run as well. So a guy that's like a two-way safety who, I really do like his game, but that's why he's at 6 and not higher than Stukes, is because even though he's got some great potential, he also has a little bit of limitations that I hope can be ironed out at the next level. Number 7, I got VJ Payne from Kansas State. Very tall, long limb type of safety, similar to Emmanuel McNeil Warren. But man, I think that I like VJ Payne a lot. I think the only reason why he's going lower and people aren't talking about him is because he played at Kansas State, and you got all these other safeties that we're talking about. You look at the top 4 to top 5 safeties, and that's what everybody's talking about. It's just those guys, but none of the guys that are middle picks, like even like a 3rd rounder or a 4th rounder or beyond. They're not really bringing those guys up because I get it. It's an entertainment business. So, but VJ Payne there's a lot to like with him. Very fast, fluid, moves his hips well. Guy that can play the ball in the air, make some contested catches as a safety. I really do like him. I really do like him. I think he's going to be something nice at the next level. Number 8 is Zakee Wheatley from Penn State, another guy who has that tall stature, who has the ability to play downhill very well. I only have Wheatley at 8 though because I think there's a little bit of limitations in his game, especially for the NFL. I feel like he's gonna be more of like a zone type of safety, um, and I don't see him ever kind of progressing into like a guy that's able to play man well. So that's why I got him a little bit limited, got a little bit lower. So Zakee, even though he's gonna be a solid player, I got him at 8. Number 9, I got Kamari Ramsey. This is an intriguing safety from USC. He's got the size, kinda like a Zakee Wheatley, but he also has the ability to play man and zone. And at USC, I'm surprised, not a lot of people are bringing his name up more often. Um, but again, everybody's gonna have to work on their craft at the next level. So Ramsey could be better than where I have him ranked. Honestly, 3 years from now, we could be talking about this, and he could be the 5th best safety. Who knows? But again, Kamari Ramsey, another solid receiver, and then we get to number 10, Genesis Smith. Yes, the other Arizona safety I have making my 10th spot here. But honestly, if you're looking for a stone cold mutter that can play man to man, this is the dude. Like, if all you ever want him to do is say, "Hey, guess what? Every play we're gonna have you play man against the tight end. We're gonna have you play man against a slot receiver," whatever the case. This dude is the best man coverage safety in this class. However, just by being the best man coverage, it also means there's going to be a knock on you, and that knock is Genesis Smith, not the best open field tackler at all. It's pretty bad, and it almost looks like he avoids contact, almost. He does make an effort, but he's just not good at tackling, and that's a bummer because if you're not good at tackling in the open field, and then when it comes to run support, you're not gonna be really good at that either. So, if you want a one-trick pony of a safety that he's gonna lock down in man, this is your guy. But don't expect too much after that. Then we're gonna go to safeties as the last. Oh no, we did the safeties. What am I talking about? I'm losing my mind here. The draft is getting closer and closer. I'm super excited. Can't wait. But honestly, that's it for the whole deal. Just wanted to say thanks everybody for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. We had a little bit more people comment, so we could have reacted to it, maybe ask some questions. But nonetheless, that's it for the recap of the top 10, my top 10 lists leading up to this draft for each position. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. If you can do so, it'd be much appreciated. If you like the content, whether you give a thumbs up, a thumbs down, I don't care. It's fine. Drop a comment down below. What do you see out of these top 10 lists? Do you think I'm too high on some people? Do you think I'm too low on some people? What's your take? Would you have a guy that's not in my top 10 be in the top 10? Let me know in the comment section down below. Want to hear from you guys. And tune in tonight for a very special stream. We will be covering the draft live. It's not going to be just me. My boys over at Grumblings Media, I'll be linking up with them, and we'll be covering the whole entire first round. Yes, we're going to have Roderick David on live, who is a former NFL scout. The dude knows so much about the inner workings of the NFL. He still does scouting for all the prospects every single draft, so he knows he's right on top of his game. if you guys want to ask any questions to Roderick, I strongly encourage you to check in because he's going to have all the answers, honestly. Whether it be a day 3 prospect or someone that your team just took that you want to ask about, make sure you drop in the comments into that. We'll be over at Grumblings Media on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. And then we're going to have other guests too. So we'll see who pops up. But we got some big time names scheduled. Want you guys to check in on that. But again, 8 p.m. tonight. We'll be covering the first round of the draft. Super excited about it. I can't wait to dive into it. Can't wait to see what these teams think about these prospects. Because every year, all us podcasters get it wrong anyway. All the professionals, all these so-called, experts, they get it wrong. So I'm just intrigued to see how close we are, how far we are from it, and to see what teams decide to go with in the first round. So we'll see you guys there. I hope to catch you there at Grumblings Media. See you in the next one.